Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, right there on West Colonial Drive in front of the fairgrounds. Talk to our buddy Mike Stacks if you're looking to buy a Subaru, Mitsubishi. Just give them a call, talk to them, or go to tomanddan.com. Fill out the there's a Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi web ad. You click on it, you can fill out the form. It goes right to him. He'll call you back.
Yeah, it's an easy way to let him know that you are a BDM, let him know that you are a Tom and Dan listener, and kind of get that extra treatment of a person that knows what, they know what you're looking for. They know you want a car.
Yeah,
They know you want a Subaru, Mitsubishi, or J.C. Harrelson over at...
Don Milley Chevrolet in Claremont, dmchevy.com. And if you talk to either of them, they're going to give you a VIP treatment because they know you're a Tom and Dan listener. Yep. They're going to tell us about your experience. So
I feel like we're making this way more confusing than it needs to be. Just Mike Stacks, J.C. Harrelson, there's a web ad. Click it, fill it out, and that's all you need to know.
What's great is they're not going to sell you cars above MSRP, which a lot of dealerships are right now because the market's so crazy on cars. So talk to our two reps at our two dealerships. They'll give you a great deal. They'll give you that personal VIP experience. Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, Don Milley Chevrolet.
Let's do one more. Let's try this one.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam. My kid just said something to me, so I got to leave a message. I have a different algorithm than my kid, but the worst thing in the world to me is a 13-year-old trying to describe a TikTok. Maybe not the worst, but I don't like it. There's a guy, he works at a Publix, and he did like this video with this sound that was like this or that, and she's choking me right now.
It sounded like his kid was like coming back. Right. Are you leaving a message to make fun of me on a old man podcast?
Listen. This is why I can't have kids, man. They're annoying as hell.
They can be. They can be.
You know what?
So boring. Spit it out.
There is something to be said, like listening to my sons
ramble.
I like it because they're my sons.
It's your frequency, bro.
Any other kids, because
100%. Whatever Maisie says is gold, but that's my frequency.
Because it's like my DNA's in there; they're a part of me. So it's like talking to myself, some narcissistic thing happening.
But it resonates. I like it. Yeah,
but it's like any other kids, and then I imagine as they get older, the thing is like them being able to have conversations with me is still relatively new. Like 3 years ago. There was nothing, right? So, but I imagine, when they're 13, they're a teenager, I'm going to be more tired of it, right? I think
it depends on the amount of pushback you get. Like, I'm already a little more tired than maybe you would be because I would say, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but Maisie is very talkative and very opinionated. And sometimes the pushback that I get is significant, and it makes me angry. We've been dealing with a lot of that lately with her finding her own kind of independence and the pushback that I've been getting and I'm not doing that, the disrespect.
Oh, yeah. See, my sons don't give me that as much, and the disrespect, I'm sure they disrespect me, I just don't pay attention.
It's a challenge. She's challenging me.
But I go in these long diatribes about how you could do anything in life. It's just about work ethic and grit, and you could be a superhero. I started explaining.
I asked them, would they know? Like and I'm being serious. If I pulled them aside, do you think that they've maintained? Have they retained enough information? Because you've probably said this 1,000 times. Do you think that they'd be like, yeah, he says for us to work hard and put our mind to things?
I
think they might.
It's hard because I look at their eyes and they are somewhere else. So I'm telling them all this.
Desert island.
It's in one ear, not the other.
Yeah, and then I tell them, I know.
If I could look in their ears and see what they were thinking, I keep it like an island body. It's like just echoing around in there.
And then I'm like, I know what you're feeling right now because I felt this when I was your age and I was a kid and adults tried to tell me this and I was like, I didn't believe them, but I'm telling you the truth. It's all about hard work. And then I'm like, if you work hard and you practice, that's
you got it in before the buzzer. You got a little bit in before.
And then I'm like, man, your lives would be so so much better if you really dedicated yourself at a young age to like hard work.
I like
and
picture like half-assing trying to be Tiger Woods' dad.
I know. Because then they're like, and then I'm like,
Double eyes.
I'm like, I'm not even that. I'm not even that good. So what am I telling you?
You know what? Just keep playing Roblox.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like,
Roblox is dope.
Yeah.
I know. Anyway, one more.
Well, you want to do one more?
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, that one's too depressing. Let's do this one.
Hello, Tom, Dan, and Sam. It's Canadian Josh. Let's further discuss the Tom Van long goodbye. I was just listening to the story when I think it was Melissa, you guys said, and he wouldn't let her leave. He doesn't know how to say goodbye, which is fine. I get it. I just wanted to relate my story when I was in the studio with my boys, and, we wrapped it up. Sam, Dan, Butler, they, thanks, goodbye, niceties, they were out. But Tom was still there, and we were waiting for our Uber. And so he's going through the full presentation. Oh, it was so good. And then he started getting awkward, and that really worked to our benefit, because as he was getting awkward, he starts giving us gifts. So we get the strong.
Yes, he does do this.
Like, you are the kid that comes to school with a pocket full of quarters, and you just start giving the quarters to everyone because you want friends.
Huge. I know that's a hot ticket item. And then we're still chatting and more awkward. Then the T-shirts come out, still chatting, more awkward. He starts giving me beer. I think it was like one of your Sofa and Suds, Golden Ale, Red Cypress, something like that. Anyway, I walked out with about $200 worth of Tom and Dan merch because of the Tom Van long goodbye and awkwardness. Love it. Love you guys. BDM for life.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being nice to people. Then we got to end this people attacking you and assassinating your character.
No. I mean, it's weird.
What I'm doing, people are taking advantage of Tom's disability because now they know they can get free gifts out of him.
I know.
I admit what I'm doing is weird, and I don't know why I can't stop doing it. I have to learn a different way to be, because it is weird. I went through it this week. I'm going to tell it on the BDM show.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
It's like I don't know these basic human interaction, social cues.
Yeah. You're on the spectrum.
I try to blame it on that, but then I look at I take the online test and it's fine. It's not on the spectrum.
If you're comfortable with the
You're lying, though, on the answers. I know you are.
No, I tell the truth.
Well, he's concerned about what person looking at the answers would think of him.
So he doesn't want the computer to think he's dumb.
Yeah, so he doesn't care what the computer thinks. He does care what the computer thinks, so he'll adjust his answers so whoever reads it will not hate him. Hey, let me ask you this. Like, you're okay with me and Sam leaving. You don't hold us back. And when you're comfortable with the people, you don't feel the need. What is that thing? Do you feel like they're not getting their money's worth? Like you didn't give them enough of your attention? You didn't give them enough time? You weren't enough in the moment? You weren't in the moment enough to register as them?
Maybe I should go talk to a therapist about this. But what are they going to tell me? Like, they're like, well, stop doing... I want to make them happy.
I've never had my therapist tell me to stop doing anything. Just for the record, I just want that. I wish they would.
The answer is just have a goodbye. That's all people want, and shake their hand and let them leave. You don't have to overly try to please them or make them happy. And I think that's the thing. Whenever it was all right, bye. I don't want them leaving and being like, oh, well, that was short, or they pushed me out, or
what if you knew when I'm leaving? What if, but right before I left, I was like, you know what? The fact that you're not talking to me right now is making me very angry.
Because I know you guys. I know what you're like.
Okay. You know it was a joke. You know I'd be messing around.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's the thing. That's why Sam will come in, and me and Sam won't talk the entire morning. If Daniel's getting a haircut or whatever, I'll say hey, and she'll say hey, and then she'll go sit down, and there'll be no dead silence. There won't be any small talk or whatever. And I know that Sam's okay with that. Now, if Sam was a different person, like a guest. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Then I would feel like they were feeling awkward sitting there in silence. So I feel like I need to go and then make them feel comfortable by holding court and telling them
okay, that makes sense.
Because I'm worried about them sitting there feeling like, oh, no one's talking to me. I'm uncomfortable. Why is Tom ignoring me in the office? That's kind of weird.
You should get up and shut the door when people come in. Get up and shut the door gently,
we'll be with you in a moment.
Yeah. you're early.
Yeah. And then when people,
I mean, truly, we could do that. This is our job. We're trying to get prepared for the show. It's not like we're just letting people
It is awkward when people come early. Like, I get awkward, and I kind of hide in here, but I do feel the same. So, to make you feel better, I feel the same thing. Like, I always wave, and I'm like, hey.
Yeah, you want to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, you do want to make them feel comfortable, but there is a part of me that wants to be like, oh, man, and then, like, have the door just, like, or, like, make myself invisible. Like, and then, like, just keep typing.
It's a weirdo thing I have with waiters and waitresses and them telling me the specials, and I let them go through the whole thing.
Even if you know the specials.
The door-to-door salesman, I let them go through the thing. I get, the spiel or whatever.
My husband and I now will always, when they ask, when we go to a restaurant, have you been here before? We always say yes, even if we haven't.
Yeah, no,
I'm not dealing with it.
I do that as well.
But it works against you sometimes, because we had one where we went there and they were like, have you dined with us before? And we're like, yes, we have multiple times. And they were like, well, some things might have changed since you've been here, so let me just run through it anyway.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh my God.
No.
You're forcing yourself on me. No means no, man.
I did not give consent.
How many times do people choose a special? I've never chosen it.
I think
one time in my entire life.
I think I've only chosen it one time.
I've never,
because the special is normally
what they're trying to get rid of.
It's normally the fish with both of its eyeballs.
Yeah.
It's whatever they're trying to get rid of.
It's always the fish with two eyeballs. It's never like our special is pepperoni pizza. No, your special is never pepperoni pizza. Your special is always pizza with arugula on it. Always.
Fish surprise.
Yeah, it's always squid. It's never, your special's never going to be, and this week's special is cheddar mashed potatoes. No, it's not going to be. This week's special is going to be purple Peruvian potatoes with rotten crab.
And it's never like, it's only $6. It's always a $27.99.
No. They say, and it's market price.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, market price? What the hell does that even mean?
That's just a price you made up. Because I don't know the fish market. No one does.
Some people, the Japanese do. I feel like the Japanese do.
Yeah,
and it gets crazy over there. They'll pull out a fish that's literally as big as my car, and they'll be like, this fish is $2 million. And I'm like, well, $2 million? They're like, and we're going to eat it. I'm like, don't eat it. Put it back in the ocean. For Christ's sake, it's $2 million. You killed it. You should be ashamed of yourself.
That's too much.
It doesn't make any sense to me. This ties into the goodbyes. Might as well fire this one off and just get it done. Get her done.
So I'm listening to Tuesday's ACT episode. Listen to you guys talk about Tom not letting somebody leave because it's a
hot topic, buddy.
I'm sure Tom doesn't have any ties to Minnesota, because it sounds like a Minnesota goodbye that Tom was giving her, where it's you say goodbye, like, I'm out of here. But then you keep talking and talking and talking for another 15, 20 minutes, and then you leave. And that seems to be what's the joke, the Minnesota goodbye. It's you say goodbye, but then you're still sitting around talking for the 15, 20 minutes before you actually leave.
I've never heard the term Minnesota goodbye.
I haven't either.
Sounds like a sexual thing. My wife a Minnesota goodbye last night.
Yeah. You know what that means? That means I become a Mormon. I do heroin.
And also, I blame my mom on this too, because
blaming her a lot lately.
But this is the third time this week you've blamed something on her, and I'm not going to let that stand.
Yeah, well, she does this,
the matriarch of the Van family,
to me and to everybody I've seen her interact with, where someone's walking out the door backwards, shaking their head. Yeah. She just keeps talking to the point where I've closed the door before and then put my ear to it, and she's still talking. I'm like, who are you talking to? So she does that. Like, she'll just be talking.
Who are you talking to? Who?
And then won't let you leave. And then I'm like, am I going to become a crazy old man like my mom?
Man. There have been times when you're telling me something here, and you're like, well, this is the plan that I formulated. I figured I'd write to them, and we'll figure this out. Then I'm going to give him a lift. And I walk to the bathroom, and I'm in there, and I shut the door, and I pee. And then when I come out, you're like, and that's what I think is best. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you totally, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
It's not there.
That's, I don't know how to get rid of that.
Let's try. This one's kind of sad.
Hey, Sam, Tom, Dan, this is Christrema.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call and chime in on the substitute teacher thing, because
I find her voice to be very attractive, because she always sounds like she's a little hurt, little injured bird.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when I hear it, I'm like, I'll fix your wings and make you fly again.
I'm still subbing in Illinois.
She's still a substitute,
but you do have to have a bachelor's degree, but in Florida you probably don't, because a lot of dodos. So anyway, I love you guys. I've missed you. Talk to you soon. Bye.
We have missed you too. So yeah, in Florida, I guess you can be a military wife. Is that the new thing? Did we really look it up to see exactly what it is?
According to the Florida Teacher Certification and Licensing Guide of 2022,
okay,
the Sunshine State requires all teachers to hold a bachelor's degree and complete a state-approved teacher education program. Well, I think that's new though, because I don't think you've always had to have a bachelor's.
That's teacher, but we're talking substitute.
True.
Substitute. I saw some BDMs talk about some need AA, and some people are saying you don't need
should
anything.
Go to AA.
So I think it's all over the place.
All substitute teachers must have at least a high school diploma. That's it for Florida.
Okay, well, that's good. That's something.
A substitute
better than nothing.
Is just a babysitter.
Yeah.
I think the new military thing, that was for an actual teacher.
That stuff starts fast, because Maisie came home, I want to say like 3 weeks ago or so, and she was like, we had a substitute today. Our teacher was out. It was towards the end of the school year and before summer. And I'm like, you had a substitute, huh? She's like, yeah, she was mean. We don't like her. We've had her. I was like, aren't you a little young to already be doing that? Like the whole clown and the substitute. And
do you think it's a weird loyalty thing to the teacher?
At this age,
yes.
they do.
At this age, they do have loyalty, and they love their teachers. Like May loves her teachers.
Yeah, there's
loves them.
A relationship with your teacher where they're like this adult parental figure.
You see him like every day, and then you're like, who's this new person trying to take their place?
It's got to make Andrea feel bad to know that every woman at school is her school mom, and that Maisie loves her just as much. Me, Andrea's here. She's in the lobby. Me, on the other hand, I am the dominant and massive superstar entertainment dad. It's got to be pretty awesome for Maisie to have a superstar entertainment dad. A digital daddy. Mm-hmm. I'm her digital daddy. And you are too. Your sons, you need to remind your boys sometimes, hey, you could have gotten a big fat slob dad. You got me. Old D to the B.
Did you show them the running video?
Yeah.
I told them about it.
Okay, they're not interested. Huh?
No, I didn't show them the video. The video's a little more. I want them to, in their mind, pretend like Flash. You know what I'm saying? Because in the video, it just looks like a skeleton running.
It looks
like an old skeleton.
Man, you are a high-step skeleton.
Yeah, you were high-stepping.
Yeah. So I want them to, and when I tell them the story, it's like...
You know who you were running like? Did anybody watch The Adventures of Pete and Pete? Do you remember Arnie, the world's strongest man? He high-step ran. Special needs people, when they run, they put their knees right on their nose. Knees to nose.
Yeah, it's about form. It's like, I know how the textbok running
should
go.
It's a little Forrest Gumpy. It's a little Gumpy.
Yeah, that's all the memes people put.
Oh, did they?
Forrest Gump memes.
I didn't look at any of them. Let's try another one. This one ties into teachers again, just to get these out of here.
Hey guys, Hilton Head BDM. I'm probably going to make some people mad here, but I wanted to... It just blew my mind when you talked about allowing... uneducated ex-soldiers, military people to be teachers in Florida. Florida, you are trash. But
it's substitute teachers.
Telling me that, Billy, who's a dodo in school, he doesn't do well at all. He graduates, has no other choice, joins the military. In his 4-year contract, he cleans some toilets, blows up a donkey with an RPG, and then he gets out, works fast food, and 15 years later, he's a teacher. That's what Florida's doing. That's amazing.
No, you're painting. Come on.
You
don't like this country? Get the hell out, is what I say.
You're painting an extreme picture.
Yeah, you are.
That person's not going to want to be a teacher. Let's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's, it's not just, what? You're in the military? Approved.
Get in there.
There's probably some sort of talking involved.
I remember one of
there's an interview process.
What's funny is this sounds very familiar to me, because I remember one of my substitutes in middle school was a former military person, because he was very regimented, and he talked to us about how he had been in the military and he was a substitute teacher. It was fine.
It's a baseline of like, all right, this group of people went through an experience that maybe made them more responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else are they going to do? And here's the thing. It's our problem. We created this problem. They don't have enough teachers.
Yeah.
So they're doing whatever, like, they can't have a classroom with nobody in there. So they're figuring it out on the fly, and then we're all bitching about it. And it's like, well, you're the one who voted.
Where's your solution?
Like, you voted for, like, we live in a democracy. Like, if you want to change, let's change the way we pay teachers. Like, you created the society, and now you're bitching about it. This is our only choice. You know, like, I look at some of these things, and people are like, oh, look what they're doing. And then they bitch about it on the internet. And then I'm like, well, we created it. Right? Like, it's our fault. Like, we created a society where teachers don't get paid enough and no one wants to be one. Right. So then there's not enough of them.
Right.
So what are they supposed to do?
So this is the only solution, at least that we have at the time. I mean, it could change. Like, somebody could add something else, but it's what we got.
Really, if we could just pay them more, that could probably solve the problem.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Better pay will attract more people.
Also, did you guys grow up with people in high school and now they are teachers, and you're like, how the hell did they become a teacher?
You know, I probably have a different outlook than you because my mom was a teacher. Most of the people that I know that are teachers now are really good teachers. Like, I got a couple guys that are like really high quality music directors at schools. I got a couple that are English teachers.
So then they make sense. But I'm saying,
I don't have any
people that I'm like, they probably shouldn't be a teacher.
I don't have any real goofy. I don't have any real goofy ones. I have most of them are pretty damn good. I even throw in Andreas and Leanne because they're they're such good teachers. Like, they're really good.
But I know what you're talking about. But I also do the same thing with cops too, when they're like, "That guy's a cop."
That makes sense.
And I have those. I have the guys that were straight up drug addicts, you know, and then like, I'm a cop now. And I'm like, okay.
But
it's like in Garden State when he gets pulled over by his high school friend. He's like, "Kenny, you became a cop?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah."
Like, your cop was your weed dealer, you know?
Yeah.
But you're right with the teachers, because a lot of times it's like an area that they're kind of forced into because there's no other jobs in their particular degree. Like, I know a lot of people, this is back in the day where they get like criminal justice degrees or just like some sort of, what was the Frank Orr degree you got?
The interdisciplinary studies degree.
And then they graduate and they're like, I can't really qualify. You know, there's no really job openings. I'll just become a teacher. And then, but that, like the personal experience I have with teachers are people that care about, you know, like my friends that are teachers care about what they do. And I'm glad
they care about the kids,
that they are teachers, because I know they care, you know? So it's like, I personally have experience with them, and I'm like, well, thank goodness they're teachers.
And a lot of the BDMs that we know, that like if you meet them and they're teachers, once you meet them, like the guy that loaned us the trumpet and the flute, who's a band director.
We got a lot of BDM teachers.
Yeah, but you meet that guy and you're like, oh my God, thank God you're a teacher, because you're really nice. You know, the kids are really lucky to have you. You know, it's like, holy crap, if we lose you, I know that's real bad.
And it's so, like, not to get off funny here.
Yeah, well, we got to get out of here, so you can be serious for a second.
In my, I really appreciate, like, for all my kids' teachers so far in their school, but their PE coach at my son's school, like, he's been there since the beginning. He's always, like, a really good personality. He's like, you know, he's always like, hey, boys, knows everybody's name. He's there at the car line stuff.
He's got a good vibe.
Yeah. He's also a Dolphins fan, so I like that about him, because I say, you know, at the pandemic days, he always wears a Dolphins mask and Dolphins t-shirt.
That's funny.
And then, but he's just like his personality. I'm like, I'm glad he's there. Yeah. And then, like, my sons, like, they like him, and they get a lot out of him. And then I'm like, I'm glad this person is at my son's school teaching them. And
see, like, not dead inside, you losers. see.
And then I appreciate this, like, you know, and it does seem that everybody there genuinely cares about.
And you would be upset if you came to school one day and they said, you know, hey, Coach Thompson, and you're like, where's Coach Thompson? And then they're like, he said he couldn't do it anymore. He's not getting paid enough. You'd be upset. You'd be like, oh, well, that's a loss. That is truly a loss.
It is. It would be.
Yeah.
And then I would say, like, well, how much does he need to get paid. Like, there's got to be some way to figure it out. Like,
we lost a couple. We lost, I can't say exactly but somebody that teachers may, and they went on to do something else because they can't make enough money and they want to start their own family. And my wife was physically altered by hearing it. Like, oh no, that is not good news. That is really unfortunate because our whole family depends on this person and likes this teacher, and it was a bummer.
Like, it would be interesting if there would be some way to somehow make some sort of public hybrid private where all the parents of the school could somehow donate, $10 a month, and then it goes into a pool, and then it goes to benefit like the teachers that care and like the best, you know what I'm saying, as like bonuses for putting in the extra effort.
It's like private school, right?
Or something, because I would pay $10 a month to better or to go to the teachers that care. I don't know.
You're just like talking about almost like a different model for private school, right?
Yeah, like $10 a month is nothing. I mean, $100 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like because then private school, it's like, private school is $5,000 a month. And you're like, well, I can't afford that
or more.
But I could afford $100 a month to go towards like benefiting the teachers that care in the school or something. I don't know. Yeah. But it would be in pause. Everybody would be bitching about it. Oh, God.
Buddy.
And there'd be corruption. It's like, why is this person getting the bonus? It's like, it would never, everybody's fighting and stuff, and they're screaming, and they're like, the Tom Van bribery scheme. And they're blaming me. And I'm like, oh, God. All right, bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
I like your star shoes.
Thanks.
I love seeing, and Daniel does too. You'll get what I'm saying.
I like seeing
stars.
I like
seeing T's.
I like seeing.
Oh, be careful what you ask for.
I know.
Good people do well, right?
Yes.
Because
I'm not doing well, Tom.
That is good.
Go sign up for her Patreon, and you can find out just how not well she's doing.
Help.
Semantics Media. Go support them.
And especially when you've known a person for a while and you've seen them come up and how hard they worked, but remained
head down. This guy,
head down, but remained a good person the whole time, right?
Never was not a good person.
Yeah, never compromised. Never he started good, but the industry got to him. Then he's a complete DM.
And people will pile on.
Yeah.
I've seen some people be mean to this guy,
and it kind of reinforces my theory that successful people are the vast majority are good,
except
people.
for Will Smith. We all determined this year. We all collectively, society has said that we all know you're not a good person, Will Smith. We know it, and we're mad about how successful you are. You should have never been successful. It should have been Carlton should have your level of success, and you should be hosting.
I don't trust Carlton.
You should be hosting America's funniest videos, Will Smith.
Well, also talent involved.
I feel like he's got a lot of demons, and he's just kind of hiding them, trying to put on a veneer of just being
can see that.
Perfect, well-balanced person.
And when you try to do that, you lose sight of who you really are.
It's going to come out eventually.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, oh, he's very damaged.
Well, you got to say who's here now.
Adam Murray's here. How you doing, Adam?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
So we've known
Adam Murray from... This isn't just Adam. Okay. Let's just say a month ago it's Adam Murray's here. This month it's Adam Murray from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Is here.
So let's talk about
that, Hillbilly Elegy. I'm trying to think the other things you've been pumping out recently.
I've got 3 more TV shows coming out in the next month and a movie in October.
Woo! Awesome.
It might be 4 TV shows.
All right.
So, Adam, let's talk about this. So, obviously, we've known you for years. I mean,
he's hanging in our bathroom
since the old studio.
I wrote to him for an autograph. He sent us one. I framed it. It's in our bathroom.
It's in the bathroom.
I feel like that would wouldn't we meet you 10 years ago, something like that?
It's got to be around there.
A decade ago, and
it was about 10 years ago. It was Second Studio.
You guys were still in the house.
Yeah, Daniel's old house now.
It's still my house, an old house.
But old studio.
Yeah.
And so back then, Adam, you were... and still are stand-up, and you were working a lot with the improv. And
I would bring your guests here.
Yes.
I was the guy that, a lot of the
By the way, that doesn't happen anymore. You know that. Well, not with the improv. It's just the comedians don't do the interviews in the place that they're.
Your job is gone.
Really?
Yeah, your job has been
not
eliminated.
as much. It's like few and far between.
Because comedians realize that they can either Zoom or they can just skip media altogether.
Yeah.
Just use their own social media.
They post on their own social media. So.
Yeah, if they're big enough, they're just like Felipe when I tour with. He doesn't do radio or anything anymore. He's like I've got enough fans that they know to come.
We were very lucky that we had Felipe Esparza, who he's referencing. We had him in here a couple of times. But I feel like for your job, for what we built out, that's gone. I mean, we were lucky that we made those relationships, and we're lucky that a lot of them are still intact. You know, if we tweet at certain comics and stuff that have been in here, they know who we are. We got Josh Wolf rolling through town. He's another one we've had in here a bunch of times, but they don't really do it anymore.
It's funny because every time I bring someone, they're like, "Oh, we're doing a podcast," and then they get here, and I would tell them on the way, like, "I promise you, this is going to be one of your favorite stops all day," and afterwards, everyone's like, "That was really amazing."
Well, you upsold us a lot, and we appreciate it. No, he did. He would be driving us over here, and he'd text me. He'd be like, "Hey, we're ready for you." And you did us right, man.
There were a lot of people because you got to understand, like, when people say, "Come do my podcast," they're not expecting this level of production. You know, it's always like someone's basement, and they got like one of those little things with they plug 2 mics in, and they're like, "Should we share a mic? We're going to share a mic."
Yeah. I mean, and then the person's like, "Am I wasting my time?
Yeah.
Who's listening to this?"
Yeah, there's just 4 people listening to this. It's this guy's friends, and he just wants a famous person real quick.
Right.
But you know what's funny is that it started with morning TV and morning radio, and that's all they do. And then the podcast started creeping in, and then you saw the trend 10 years ago. We're like, "I'm not going to do a podcast." Then they do it, and they're like, "Oh, this is better than," and produce more than the damn TV I did this morning. Yeah. But that was the beginning of the end of all this because that
was just a stepping stone for Zoom.
Well, then it turned into the comedians only wanted to do podcasts because that's what moved the needle. Then it turned into, I'm just going to promote this on my social media.
Well, also a lot of them, you're forgetting one more part. The social media is great, but then a lot of comedians are like, "What if I just start my own podcast, and then the people come to me, and then I go, okay, how many listeners do I have in Dubuque? Oh, all right, great.
5,000. They all come to the show.
Hey, guys, we got a 400-seater in Dubuque. I only need, 4% of you to show up and pack the place. Yeah, come on out, and it works.
That's pretty much the way everything's changed now. Everyone's got their own social media presence.
You have your own media.
Yeah.
So it's like, why go on other people's media? It sucks.
Yeah.
Like, they can ask me the same question. Like, I blame media because you're so bad at your job that no comedian even wants to do it for fun because they're like, this is garbage. You didn't even know who I am. Right. And it's all the same garbage questions. And you just want me to start doing my bit to entertain your audience. Like, I think Segura told a story the other day that he, how he doesn't do radio anymore or any of that. And he said he was on a morning radio show one time, and he sat down. The guy didn't say anything, and then he's like, before they started coming back from break, they're like, "Oh yeah, when you come back from break, just I won't even say anything. Just go do your thing." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, just take over, do your bits, whatever."
Yeah, I don't care.
Segura's like, "I'm not doing that." He's like, "I'm just gonna sit here." And then the guy wanted him to just start. Yeah. And dance, you host this.
Monkey, you do the thing you do.
Yeah, comedy just
and go.
Yeah. I'm just gonna sit here. I get paid for this time, but I want you to entertain my audience.
Well,
what the hell are you talking about?
If it's live, I don't blame him.
Just treating him like a wind-up toy. You do the thing.
So, Adam, let's talk about how that you transitioned from doing stand-up into acting, and how all these breaks that you have now and Stranger Things came about.
I mean, I saw a talk on Vimeo by the late Ralphie May where he talked about the business of comedy, and one of the things he stressed was to take acting classes because he said every comic from that's famous, you know them from TV. They all at some point do something other than stand up. There's very few comics that are famous for just stand-up. They all do some sort of acting. So he said you have to take acting classes and be ready, because when someone offers you a series, if you don't know how to act, it's too late.
Yeah, you can't just learn in enough time to, you need the chops going into it.
He said he's had friends that like did like the Tonight Show back when it was huge, and then they got offered a series, and it went to like they did the pilot, and they were like, "Oh, this guy can't act," and then it's over.
Gotcha.
And there's no second chance. It's kind of like if you get a chance to host the Tonight Show and you suck, they're like, "Nah, all right, done," and then your career is just over.
Gotcha.
So it was like there was a lot of that. Where it was just like, okay. I mean, I had an interest in acting before. I almost got cast in. Do you know the movie Kids?
Yeah.
So one of the movies he made was called Bully.
Yeah.
And I got cast in Bully right before I was supposed to go to college, and I turned it down because it was going to interfere with going to college. The guy who got the part that they cast me in was the gay best friend in Mean Girls. Like, that was his first role.
Really? Man, you could have been the gay best friend in Mean Girls.
I got to meet the whole cast and everything.
That's really cool.
It's weird that you turned it down to go to college. College?
Had I known now.
But, like, that's what you do, right? You turn down things because you think college
but you can go to college later. Like, you're not going to get that opportunity to be in a movie and anything,
You're not wrong, but I guess maybe you were thinking, this is me, my look isn't going to change as long as I don't die.
It could have been a thing also where like you couldn't drop your classes, you've already paid for it,
Yeah, right. I mean, it's
also
like,
scary to do that too.
Yeah.
That's the easy one is right up front. It's just that's a scary thing to do.
Well, I didn't know if I put it off for a semester, would I still be able to go? Like there are all these unknowns, and it was just like, well, this is just a movie, and it wasn't like projected to be a big hit. Or I mean, it's now like they've got like a cult following on that movie.
Yeah,
but.
I mean, also remember
not a movie guy
when Kids came out. Like I was in high school, or
I only know that there's a lot of stuff in the like my wife
talked about
my wife owns it, and she's like, oh, it's one of my favorite movies, and then she
that's her favorite movie.
And her favorite
13.
She owns that. No, her favorite movie. This is gonna make you guys think I married a crazy person.
Waterworld.
No, that is up there. Waterworld. Kids is up there. She owns both of those on Blu-ray, and then she owns what's the one with Patrick Bateman?
American Psycho.
American Psycho is her favorite
That's a
movie.
great movie.
She just loves a little bit of dystopia in her movies.
And that's what I bring. I am a little bit of dystopia.
By the way, when I watched that in middle school, I was like, well, when I go to high school, there's going to be, we're going to be dodging AIDS everywhere we go. I thought there would be way more AIDS. No, seriously, I was like, oh my God, everybody's got AIDS.
Class. You played dodge AIDS. It's horrible.
So you went to acting class, and
I started booking stuff like commercials and so forth, and the first thing that happened that started to be like a big break for me was I was being looked at to be the lead in a Rob Schneider TV show they filmed here.
Really?
They filmed Real Rob here.
Yeah,
and
I knew a lot of people that worked on that show.
Yeah,
because Full Sail was all the Full Sail kids were working on it.
It was all they filmed a lot of it at Full Sail. They brought me in originally to audition for the part of a marijuana co-op manager. I was like, I could pull that off.
Yeah. I feel like that's your alley.
That is you, man.
The casting directors were like overly complimentary. Like I was to the point where I was like, these people are lying to me. Like this, this is too nice. And then they were like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like, nothing. And they're like, we'd like you to come back and read for the lead. Like it would be Rob Schneider, his wife, and then you on the call sheet. And I was like, oh, okay. They're like, it's the part of the stalker. And I was like, oh, okay, yes. I can do that.
That's a big deal. Yeah. But Adam, how much is it, do you think, just your demeanor is, like, I feel like you're an easy guy to be around. And I feel like in just that aspect, like, even if you're casting for a TV show, like, if you're sitting there, you're a casting director, and you got Adam, and you got, like, 3 other guys, and they all kind of look like Adam, they all, like, connect, the way they act is probably damn near similar. Like they all have acting chops.
Sure.
But it's just like Adam seems like the cooler guy to be around, so you'd pick him just because you'd want.
You've always been pleasant. I
try. The funny thing you're talking about the hate I've gotten over the years. I feel like some of it is 2 things. Either they think I'm being disingenuous, and that upsets them, or they're very depressed people.
Yes.
And when I'm happy or whatever, that I guess highlights their misery and it upsets them. I don't know. I've tried to figure out why people dislike me right off the bat for some reason. And,
I think
bullies
there's a lot of jealousy too. Like because you have a work ethic in you that a lot of people don't have, and I think it's very easy to sit back. That's probably the number one reason why I was attracted to you originally. Was I think we have sort of the same work ethic. Okay. We like working.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
I don't like waking up early, but I do like working.
Right, like you, but you do work. I mean, it's also just proof. Like if you look at your schedule, like it's an impossibility for you to. You don't stay still, is what I'm saying.
No, I try not to. Any sort of stagnation bothers me.
Right,
I feel like I'm starting to head back.
And
down.
not everybody's like that. So I think you can get a lot of people that look at like the things you accomplish, and they think that these things just fall from the sky, but they don't. You have to be present and be in it and doing it at all times to make them happy.
Yeah.
But also, too, bullies are attracted to bullying nice people.
Right.
Because,
they think they're easy targets.
Bullies don't bully people that will punch them in the face because they'll get punched in the face. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. They'll bully Adam because Adam's not going to punch them in the face. He'll laugh it off or whatever. He's a nice guy. So I think, we saw a lot of that at the beginning in your career. Like, everyone was messing around with Adam and stuff. And then, I'm curious, like the people that were really D-heads to you back in the day, like now that you've had this much success, like I feel like you're the type of person that doesn't go back and even bother with telling that person, like, look at me now.
Oh, like you mean like you come back later and you're like, I bet you wish you had dated me. I have on Spanx. Look at my waistline.
I haven't done that. What I did do, I had a buddy of mine who used to be bullied a lot, and then he rose up real quick.
Yeah.
And I reached out to someone who had bullied him, and I was like, just so you know, this guy you never thought would do anything is much more successful than you could have ever dreamed. And that did not go very well because it's been 10 years, and they were like, dude, I've changed. Like, what are you, 40? Like, why are you reaching out to me about this?
That is a hilarious. So you found somebody else's bully.
Yeah.
I loved it. Adam, this is fantastic. So you found somebody else's bully, and you were like, you know what I'm going to do for my friend? I'm going to write their bully. I'm going to say, hey, you bully, look at how great they are now. And the person was like, they're like, oh. But
it was they were like, I was like, late teens, early 20s at the time. I didn't know like, how old are you now? You're still holding grudges about this?
Yeah. I'm not I'm an adult now. I have kids.
I got a mortgage. I don't know why you're messaging me.
So, Adam, so what was your first big acting break? And then does it just I guess avalanche from there?
I've got a crazy acting story for you that probably no one other than the people involved even know about, because you're talking about how I used to drive people around for media and come around.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this, but whatever.
It's fine.
You don't do it anymore.
You guys are radio.
You got the nod from Tom.
Right?
It's fine.
Yeah. We're old radio guys.
You know what War of the Roses is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's the fake thing.
We're familiar.
Oh, we talk about this all the time.
We talk about it, and then it makes all the guys that do it mad, and they write me, and they're like, "Stop talking about it being fake." And I'm like, "But it is fake."
Yeah.
So I've done a bunch of those for many, many years.
They hire local actors to improv.
Well, they hire. I've done it in Canada and Hawaii. I've done it all over the country.
God, you were on Canadian War of the Roses?
Yeah.
Put that on your IMDb, man.
Well, they tell you not to tell anyone this, but so I finally got to do a local one. It was for Power 95.3. And the scenario was my fiance I thought she was cheating on me with a guy who owned a local car dealership, and he did his own commercials or whatever.
Okay.
And so
were they zany commercials?
Yeah. So
I'm in a pickle.
It's my nickel pickle sale.
I was super.
My attorney. Sorry.
I was super excited about it because I'm like, I could finally hear it. Like you record them, but you never get to hear them.
Yeah.
And I did this one, and when it came out, that she was cheating, I was like, "Where are you?" And she's like, "I'm at work." And
hold on a second. I was
scared the hell out of me.
Scared the crap out of me. Good God, you're a good actor.
So I was like, "I'm going to come there and I'm going to punch you in the throat and kick him in the nuts," something like that. And then I ran out of my house, held my phone next to the door, and slammed the door to make sure that they could hear it. I got in my car, started it, did a burnout out of my driveway, and then I was pulling out all the stops.
My God, we got
gets 110%.
Goddamn De Niro over here giving the performance of his life.
I went driving down the street and I held the phone down near my lap, screaming at traffic that wasn't there as I hung up the phone. And I was like, "This is going to be great. I can't wait to hear this." Pulled back in my driveway, and I was like listening to Power like the rest of the week, going, "I can't wait to hear this," and I never heard it. So the next time I went to do media, I went when I went to Power. I was like, "Hey, I did a call with you guys, and I never heard it. What happened to it?" And they're like, "We don't know what you're talking about," because they're not supposed to say anything either. And I was like,
we don't know what you're talking about. And by the way, War of the Roses is totally real.
You're like, "Listen, I did it. I was talking to you.
I'm one of the roses.
Yeah. I was hired.
I'm a rose
by the company that you paid."
Here's where it gets crazy. So I said, "I'm going to kick him in the nuts and punch you in the throat." And they were like,
"Oh, you can't."
That was you?
Oh, you were the loose cannon rose.
They're like, "You have no idea what happened with that." So they went to break, and they're like, "Listen, here's what happened. We played it twice, once in the morning and once at night. And we got so inundated with phone calls from people, number one, that were terrified for what happened to that girl and wanted to make certain she was okay.
Oh, my God.
And number two, a ton of women who thought their husband was the guy that we were talking about, that she was cheating with, that owned the car dealership."
God, my husband's an abusive rose.
they thought I didn't realize there were this many car dealerships in Orlando that do their own.
God, yeah.
But like there were so many of those that they had to have a meeting with the president of Cox Radio, play her the phone call, which was later than their show. That's they had to stay later or come in later for.
Oh, they love that. The radio guys love staying late.
And she decided.
By the way, we're talking 11:30 a.m.
Yeah.
I think it was noon. Yeah.
I'm here. It's past noon. What am I, an animal? I'm supposed to be on the golf course or in my pool in my McMansion.
They decided that, like she heard the radio, the phone call, and she decided that they could never do that style of prank on any of the radio stations in all of Cox Media ever again.
You killed War of the Roses?
I killed War of the Roses in all of Cox Media.
I thought I hadn't heard it.
You won the war.
You won the war.
I was there with Adam Ferrara, and he looks at me and goes, "Dude, you're like a modern day Orson Welles."
You crushed it, dude.
Think of the arguments that were happening at dinner tables. The guys have no idea what their wife is mad about, and she's just so certain. This cheating dude is.
That was
I hate
you.
him.
I knew it was you. Where have you been sticking that nickel pickle?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because they want the drama until it gets too real, and then they get scared.
Yeah.
Who would have known also that you were the only other guy that I know of that has used your phone and slammed a door to make remember you did
Radio Magic.
Yeah, like Radio Magic. You were you too have been known to act on the radio on a telephone.
It turns out easy to fool dummies. Who would have known?
Do you have a copy of the recording?
I don't. They told me that they were gonna send me one, and then I think they decided they didn't want it to leak out because they were like, "We'll send it to you, but don't share it with anyone."
They don't like doing that. Yeah.
And then they told me that it disappeared. Like they don't have it.
It was deleted before litigation.
Yeah. We all know that they still had it somewhere in the archive.
They still have it somewhere now. You know, like all of
somebody's got it.
Yeah, somebody's got it.
But yeah, that was the first time I think I'd ever done anything that was like that side of acting. And I guess it never occurred to me that I would be doing a lot of like the bad guy or heavy. Like I mean, you guys have known me for 10. Like that's just not who I am.
If I don't think if I just knew what you look like, though, I don't think I would pick that stuff because I think you're very polite and I think you're calm and just kind of chill.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some Weird Job Wednesday.
All right. It is Weird Job time.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job?
Sideshow Dan. That's who it was. Sideshow Dan.
Are you a fat slob? Do you make
he was on JRR.
money? And you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour. It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. Talk to them about your mortgage or maybe your cash out refi or maybe your home equity conversion mortgage.
You were reading that.
Yeah, which is basically a reverse mortgage, but they've changed.
Oh, they changed the name of it? Hold on. What is it called now?
Conversion
if you don't want
therapy.
Home equity conversion mortgage. Basically, it's
I'm interested in your home equity conversion therapy.
It's turn your house into something that pays you each month instead of you paying it.
Gotcha.
I want that.
Turn my house into a spaceship.
Got to be 62.
62 inches.
I'm almost there.
So I know this is not a weird job because
why would you say that? That's insulting to our guests.
It is a weird job, but I think our listeners are, because
this
we
guy's
talk
laughing.
about radio.
He's laughing already, which makes me like him.
But we saw a BDM post on our BDM page, and they're like, "Hey, my Uncle Phil is retiring from radio."
Uncle Phil.
It was Will Smith, guys. It was Will Smith.
and then I noticed I saw Uncle Phil, and then he had his headphones out like I do.
One on, one off.
Yeah, one on,
and one off. Ready for action. It's me, Trick Danger, on the dial.
And then I'm like, I need to talk to Uncle Radio Phil.
Yes. What's your on-air handle there, Phil?
It's my real name. I'm not smart enough to have two different names because I would forget and revert to my real name anyway. So I just stuck with Phil.
My real name is Phil These Nuts.
so Phil, how
keep failing them?
Congratulations on retirement. How long did you work in the radio business?
44 years.
Whoa, my God. You're a lifer, sir. Well, you know what? Thank you for your service. Not our service. What is it? Thank you for your service.
You literally saw the beginning and the end.
You were there for...
Marconi and I were close.
Yeah,
we were
exactly.
Like this.
You, Marconi, and now the end of it.
So, Phil, tell us about when, how you started, what different...
Started from the bottom, Tom.
Well, some different cities you were in, because I'm curious, like, the transition that you saw personally. Tell us all about it, Phil.
Well, we started, when I was a kid growing up listening to Twin Cities Radio, Minneapolis, St. Paul market I grew up in, and the big station there, WCCO, but also some of the rock stations, and then hearing something called the National Lampoon Radio Hour when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Really inspired me because I thought, boy, it would be fun to do that for a living. So I started off going to Brown Institute, about a 1-year trade school.
Brown Institute's what I call my butt. Thank you.
Yeah.
The Brown Institute.
Like we're embarrassing, Phil.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm too serious. All you young
Breaking
guys,
news.
all you Howard Stern disciples, you're doing wacky morning show whack pack. Sorry, Phil.
Or as we called it, LSU, Lake Street University. And
there you go.
So we go from there to I worked part-time at a little station in western Wisconsin, where my first full-time job in northwest Iowa, a town called Esterville, where when the wind blew from the south, my house smelled like a corpse because we were near a livestock yard. And
wow. All radio guys start in a market where you live and the studio are terrible.
Got it.
Yeah, like every radio guy that I know that's ever really done radio, I am an old radio guy, but I don't have the tail. Like, I don't have... I am a unicorn in the idea that I've only been on one station my entire broadcasting career, which is crazy. You are too, Tom. You're a weirdo.
Yeah,
we're weirdos.
Wow. Well, you started in the 90s. Yeah. I started in the early 2000s, so it's a different time. Like, Phil started when traditional rate... Like, this is the way you did it. It's the way newscasters do. You start a small market
and you work your way up.
Yeah. Yeah, I started out with vinyl records. It was I was actually spinning records back in the day, and went from there back to Western Wisconsin, then up to Grand Forks, North Dakota. From there, went down to Baraboo, Wisconsin, a little town, the home of the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Spent about a year there, and then we went from there. From Baraboo, we went to Minneapolis, St. Paul, worked at a couple of stations there, and from there I went to Bismarck. From Bismarck, I went down to Evansville, Indiana, and from Evansville, Indiana, back to Bismarck again, which I combined about 28 total years in Bismarck between the two stops. So 44 years, and I went to transition from vinyl records to Next Gen, as they say. So,
Next Gen. I remember old Next Gen.
Yep.
So
although we had, I had Next Gen, if I can geek out for a second, I always looked at Next Gen and realized that it was touchscreen, and you could tap, and you could tap the buttons, but my station, too cheap to put in touchscreen, so we used a mouse for everything.
Same with K-Fire, same with my station. Yeah. We never had the touchscreen there either.
I'm so glad that we share that. I would hug you if you were here right now. Too cheap to put in the goddamn touchscreens.
Phil, so I want to talk to you about cutting tape, because Daniel...
I know how to do it.
Daniel started cutting tape when he was an intern in the 90s.
Yeah, on a reel-to-reel.
You bet.
I only worked with mini discs. I started around 2003, and now the whole craze was mini discs.
Neither of us should tell anybody either of these, right? No. Like, I shouldn't talk about tape, you shouldn't talk about mini discs, but hey,
tape is where
we are.
I at least have a disc. You were cutting something with a razor.
He was spinning records, Tom.
You had a knife. You had a knife.
I did, a razor blade, sir, and the hipsters would like me more than you.
You had a knife that you worked with technology with.
You cut the technology. There's too much technology here. I got to cut a little bit out, so I got to cut it on an angle, and then I got to use a piece of Scotch tape to hold my technology together.
So
it was a grease pencil and a razor blade, absolutely.
And then you'd lay it on that little piece of aluminum. And then it would be scored, and it would have the angles to cut, and you'd cut them, and then you'd take a little piece of tape and slap it on there, and away you went.
I know people are thinking we're talking about, Good Morning Vietnam days. We're talking about when Limp Bizkit blew up a pirate ship. This ain't that long ago.
That's a good marker.
I like that's your marker.
Excellent marker.
Where Daniel was using a razor blade and cutting a ribbon of audio. And that was...
I was still doing that Monica Lewinsky.
So, Phil, I want to talk to you about, you saw the transition where it went from basically so many radio stations were mom and pop owned, and then when the conglomerates came in, a Clear Channels and the Cox, and and started buying up every radio station, every mom and pop in town, and turning it more corporate. Tell us about that transition, because I'm sure, although maybe in North Dakota and up in Midwest,
I don't know what owners groups they had.
Do you have any Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive? Because that's kind of what that was about. Being the last person standing, it was an interesting time, because when we were in Bismarck the first time, that's when they were first bought by the family operation and bought by the corporation, and things started to change then. And I guess then you just you say, hey, do this job too. So you ended up doing some multitasking.
Here in Orlando, that was known as, you're going to have to wear extra hats. Remember that?
Exactly.
Remember that meeting?
Yeah, we're going to make you the manager, but pay you the same. How does that work?
Yeah, the person that there's our boss is no longer there, but she had this big meeting and everybody's there, and she's like, you're going to have to wear more hats, and those of you wearing more hats, we love you, and that's all you get. You get our love.
But luckily, my last stint in Bismarck was pretty much just being the morning guy, so it worked out fine for me. I pretty much concentrated on my morning show, and that was about it.
Did you have a slightly attractive, shorter, and overweight news lady?
No, I had a younger, taller, dark and handsome newsman.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I always wanted a newsman.
So So, Phil, did you, throughout your career, I want to hear about any sort of zany radio stunts.
Well, I'm sure
there's got to be one
also,
or two. You sound like a more serious, like we're used to dealing with
He's like a DBO guy here in town. He's like a news talk.
You're
like an Officer Jim.
We're more used to dealing with the morning zoo type. The guys with
Los Alamaños.
They got no sleeves and their arms are crossed. Their brick wall is behind them. They're wearing sunglasses.
It's
some sort of Harley.
It's a fake brick wall. They make it look like there's some spray paint of their logo on it.
Their interns are rolling in mouse traps. They're whipping them.
They talk like this. Hey, what's up? Oh, yeah.
They have some sort of shower built in their studio.
Oh, yeah, let's get her. Let's get your mom up there in the shower. Oh, yeah. By the way, she's doing all of this right now to get Maroon 5 tickets. 4th row tickets to see Maroon 5. Not first row. 4th row tickets to see Maroon 5. We're going to get her up there in the shower and see those baloney flaps. Did I say that?
But Phil, you sound like more of a serious broadcaster that.
Oh no!
What bits did you have on your morning show? I mean, you had bits that you did, right? Give us some of your bits. Maybe we might want to steal them.
My main bit was I did a lot of impersonations and voices and created bits around that.
Phil,
for instance,
you gotta give us one.
May I?
Most of the people I impersonate are dead now.
That's fine.
Like John Houseman.
Well, there's the late great Howard Cosell was one of my favorites back in the day. There was Howard Cosell.
No, wait, you gotta do Howard. You gotta do the stuff that got him in trouble. You gotta do the look at that monkey run. Oh my God! Oh my God! Why did you say that? What is wrong with you?
Like he's an old man. He doesn't know.
Yeah, what he said. Somebody hit him with a head. Hit him with a head with a cash register. Knock him out.
You blew it,
Knock him out and drag him away.
A lot of dead people and still some living people, like the lovable Bernie Sanders was always fun because you are a racist and you are a homophobe. He's always
Bernie
fun to
Sanders. I like that. All right.
That's a good Sanders.
That's not a bad Sanders. You know what?
So,
you got the guts, Phil.
You are Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders. I like that. So yeah, I did a lot of that stuff. But and then as far as I did about 50 or 60 of those. And then there were a couple of, I guess as far as stunts go, I think my favorites were April Fool's pranks we played on occasion, where we would incorporate into news stories. One of my favorites was that there was a study, this is back when gas prices in the 90s had gotten high, and our news guy came up with a story that in putting helium into your tires would increase your gas mileage. So we had a promotion with the gas station there. Well, so we had a promotion with the gas station that come on in and get your tires inflated with helium. And so during morning, we had cars lined up around the block. And in order to, so we didn't piss people off too bad, then we would give them a free car wash once they got there and realized that April Fools. So that was
I love cars lined up around the block.
Your cars lined up around the block. And
it's my favorite radio thing.
And then you got to do the live shot. We're giving away helium right now. Let's go live. Let's go live to the Amoco. It's down there on Colonial Drive. Let's go live to our intern Froggy's down there. Froggy, can you hear?
Hey, what's up? It's Froggy. I'm down here. Yeah, we're giving away free helium, and I certainly have not been huffing it at all.
We'll be right back. Nice. You got to do that, Dom. You got to do all this.
I want to do this again.
Oh my God, you have inspired us.
Can we get cars to line up around the block?
We can get cars to line up around the block.
Hey, this would be a good time to try it with
We'll do gas giveaways. We'll do the old pump it in your gas hole promotion. That was a real radio thing. The gas man, you pump it in your gas hole.
I'm the gas man.
Yeah.
The problem is, the only people listening live, they're Norm out there, White Claw Tracy.
Oh, leave them alone. They're our friends.
We replay it at night. They show up at night. No one's here.
They're our friends. He's making fun of our friends.
Well, we've missed the sweet time of live radio. And Phil, I want to talk to you about that because you recently retired, and
congratulations, man! Like that really is an accomplishment to be able to do that and sail into the sunset after 44. I would have shot for 45.
I'm one of the lucky ones who got to choose their date, I guess.
Nice.
Well, no,
congrats.
And you say,
Thank you.
It's a rarity. I mean, as you know, Phil, and
it really is. The radio, and he doesn't sound bitter either.
The radio, and let me ask you this, Phil, because
I'm being serious.
Maybe it's different in North Dakota.
Yeah.
When I started in radio as an intern in 2003, like I soon realized that, man, if I decide to make this my lifelong career, every single day I do a show, I know that the management could be waiting outside my door to fire me and tell me that was your last show.
Scary.
And that was the thing in radio. Like they just wait. They wouldn't tell you, and you wouldn't know that you were doing your last show until they told you it was your last show. Then they usually wouldn't let you say goodbye.
No.
They get you out of there.
I didn't get to say goodbye.
And then you disappeared, and then they never talk to you again or about you again on that station.
You're dead.
Yeah, and then
actually, you're worse than dead. You never existed.
So then, to me, I was like, well, that seems like a hard career to live in, knowing that each day could be your last day, and then you have to go move to a different place because you have a non-compete.
Completely start over.
So you literally have to move out of town. So I was like, man, this is a rough business to have a longevity. And so how'd you get through it, Phil?
Well, the first time I got let go, there was twice. I got fired twice. But the first time I got fired, we were in Minneapolis. I just showed up. That was all. I did my job, and so it was my daughter's our first child's first day of kindergarten that day, and my wife was an emotional wreck all morning in tears after putting her on the bus. So I get home from work, just to inform her, just when she had finally stopped crying about that, hey, guess what? I got fired.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. You gotta sleep on that one, Phil.
And then you had
trauma, man.
You have a non-compete, so then you have to move out of the city you live in.
Take her out of kindergarten.
Right?
Yeah, you got to do kindergarten. You got to do first day of kindergarten in someplace new again.
Actually, they didn't do a non-compete on that one. They were kind of eliminating the position, and they said, we really like you, but we don't have room, so we're waiving all the non-competes. So I went to another station in town, so that was fine. Ended up getting a raise out of the deal and better hours.
That's usually how it works.
Well, yeah,
it worked out for the best.
Nice.
And we've had a lot of radio friends throughout the years that have been fired, and they always end up in a better place after, which is weird.
Always.
It's like when they first get fired, it's so devastating to them and to everybody around their listeners, and then they always end up at a better place. I'm like, it's a blessing kind of place, this is good for you.
Even like the radio guys, even the guys that do really bad things and then get out of radio typically go on to be in bigger markets, better salaries. Not
all. Not all.
Some of there are some doors. There are some windows and doors that if you open them, the tales inside are tragic and sad.
Yeah, more tragedy than actually success. I'm only remembering the success as our confirmation bias.
I'm remembering the tragedy.
So,
I think a lot of times when people get fired too, they use it as motivation to, I'm going to show you. And you use that as kind of a fire under your butt to prove people wrong.
Yeah, no, 100%. So let's end with this, Phil, because we got to go. We're running low on time. You know how it is.
Yeah. We're up against a break.
I get it.
I got to sell these nickel pickle sales at car guys. I got to get out there. I got to sell some Lexuses.
We noticed that in the picture that your nephew posted, you were wearing some sort of jersey. And that's always been our stereotype with radio guys. They love a good jersey.
I want to make Tom and Dan jerseys for people to wear.
So was that your preferred...
how many jerseys do you own is what he wants to know.
Yeah, it was, I wear jerseys, T-shirts, radio guy wear. That's one of the reasons I wanted to go into radio, because I wanted a job where I didn't have to wear a tie. Yeah, and at the time, radio was the option, so there you go.
That's almost the number one reason to get into radio.
It really is.
I've talked to multiple radio guys that are like, I'll never wear a tie.
Yeah, there's one guy we know that he said, I will never put a tie around my neck, and he was dead serious.
Yeah, because my dad, I mean, I had a father who was, in the 60s, the suit and tie every day for work and the derby hat, and it's like, nope, I don't want to have to dress like that every day. So
also, it's easier to kick the dog around in a jersey.
Exactly.
When you come home drunk,
I love sports jerseys, not so much the actual athletics of sports. Phil, it's been an honor talking to you.
You're great, man. Congrats on your retirement and your success in 44 years of doing it. Really cool, man. Very, very nice talking to you.
Is there anything you want to promote? Are you starting like a podcast?
Consulting? You can consult. That's what old radio guys do. They're like, I'm a consultant now. What does that mean?
For now, I'm really busy unpacking boxes and screwing up putting together those do-it-yourself furniture items. So,
do you talk to yourself? Do you do bits like to yourself? Or are you like,
I haven't yet. So far, I just enjoyed sleeping till it's light. I haven't done that in years.
That is a benefit.
Well, keep doing it, man, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay?
Hey, you got it. Thanks so much, guys.
All right,
thanks, Phil.
Be well.
Damn it, we didn't ask his sign off. I wanted to know his sign off.
Oh yeah.
Be good out there.
We we should do a segment. We just talk to old radio guys because there's something I'm telling you.
Old radio, so we interview.
Not that he's old, but I'm just saying.
Collection of retired radio.
He's not
guys
young. He did radio for 44 years.
I know. It's just I want a car line. I'm telling you, Tom and Dan car line somewhere in the city.
That happen.
We can do a car line.
All right,
we got to give away something for free.
Yeah, that's
we
fine.
need to do the old. Okay, the old. I think there's like a creep or somebody.
I think it's our guest.
Get our shotgun. There's a creep out front. Blow him away. I want to do the car line where you line them all up and then you're like, they're all in line to get our sticker. And if we see you around town with our sticker on your car, you could win $25.
yeah, I know.
That's what I want.
I know. We kind of do it a little bit. There's always a tip of the cap.
We fell off on the BDM sticker. We used to be.
There's a lot of them.
It all started with do we need to get out of here? Let's get out of here. I have a thought, though.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
All right. Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha is with her husband. I hope you recover quickly, sir. Thank you for your service.
Don't say it like that. He's getting a vasectomy.
He's getting a vasectomy.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you for your service. That fits.
It's fine. I didn't even put ice down there when I got mine. I went to the mall right at
we went to the mall. What, did you have to get your ears pierced? What the hell are you doing?
Crystal,
when you going to pierce a pagoda? When you got a Hot Topic?
She's like, I want to stop by the mall.
Yeah, I want to look and see if they have some new Steve Madden shoes.
And then she's like, are you sure you're up? I'm like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll get a pretzel.
Yeah. And then it was like a little. I never put ice. I never did the. Be a man, huh?
Pain tolerance is different, so maybe it didn't hurt you as much. Like my C-section hurted 10 times more than my friends. I feel like it did because I was laying down way more. But they also pushed me right out of the hospital because I had COVID during my birth of my child. Yeah, they put me in the COVID wing, and they wanted me out of the hospital within 24 hours, and I had a C-section.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and I was throwing up like crazy because they overdrugged me with the epidural. It was real messed up.
I just had an epidural.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then so I was like puking the whole time, and my stitches were like
you were puking your stitches out. Oh my God!
They were like not checking on me because we were the COVID.
Don't check on her. She has COVID.
It was really messed up. So I was out of the hospital within like 24 hours, and it was really
And then you
bad.
were just all beat up and having to fend with COVID and a newborn.
Yeah.
With your barf and your stitches out.
But the worst part is taking care of a 2-year-old at the same time.
Yeah.
Like the baby, that's one thing.
Yeah, 2-year-old is a different story.
But the 2-year-old, he weighs 40 pounds, so it's like, well, no, he weighs 20 pounds.
And they have opinions and they do things. Yeah.
Good for you for getting the C-section because I told Crystal to get it.
Sounds like COVID section.
Because her real man, Uncle Doctor, one time told us years ago, before even thinking about having kids, he pulled me aside. It was at like a family wedding or something.
Come here for a second.
And then he's like, when you have kids,
with you.
He's like, just get the C-section. It's easier on everybody. Believe me. I've seen it before.
Cut it up and pull the baby out on that golf by
It's unnatural. I want to have it the natural way.
Well, then both of our wives, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Which one? Did your wives both go natural?
What he just did was the most horrifying depiction of childbirth I've ever seen in my life. You literally, I was stunned in my tracks.
Did your wives both go natural?
No, my wife won.
Yeah.
His wife, and my wife. I'm gonna bust their balls. My wife and your wife.
Don't act like it's a medal of honor.
Okay, but mine wasn't by choice. The second one was by choice. The first one,
yours is
was like an emergency.
Like the draft. Yours is like the draft. I got drafted. But thank you for your service. Our wives had both decided they're like, we're gonna do it all natural. No epidural here. We can do it.
Oh, they did it natural.
And then they grew they tried. They grew their bushes out and did all the things. And then they get there on the table, and then they're like, oh God, it's doing. Give me the epidural. Give me the epidural. Please, give it. Ouchie.
See, I can't handle pain. I would have asked for the epidural like within 5 minutes, but mine was an emergency. They put the little things on his heart, and he couldn't, like, he wasn't breathing. So they were like, within 3 minutes, the doctor on call comes in the room, and she's like, oh, you need to have a C-section right now. And I was like, what? Like, I had just gotten there. It was crazy.
What?
And my doctor was in the elevator on her way up, and the doctor on call at the hospital gave me my C-section within 3 minutes.
He just wanted to do. He's like, she's in the elevator. I'll do it.
It was a girl, but okay.
Oh, okay. Most of them are girls. Yeah, I had a girl.
Yeah, both mine were girls.
Yeah, I had a very hot Spanish lady with big boobies.
When you went there, did you know you had COVID, or did they test you? You're like, you have COVID now. You're like, oh God, damn it!
That's exactly what happened.
And did you feel bad because they always say they're like, if a mother smokes crack, her baby comes out addicted to crack, and it's like, well, I have COVID, as my baby's had COVID.
Well, you had to get tested like 24 hours before, so I went and got tested at the hospital, but they were supposed to call me. Well, they didn't call me, so I figured I didn't have it. So when I got there and we're all checking in, they go, oh, by the way, did you know that you tested positive? And I was like, oh God. So I just started bawling my eyes off because it was a freaking third time I had it. I've had COVID 3 times.
Oh my God. You get the hell out of here.
I had it twice.
I feel like I should be immune by now.
I've only had it one time.
Oh, loser.
It's a 1, 2, 3.
Once.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely gave it to Daniel because I had COVID and we were doing a show. And then I told him out. I was like, oh, I have COVID.
He said like that too. Oh, I had COVID.
And then Daniel never got it. Anyway,
never got it.
And
we sit on the same toilet seat.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're just having some light locker room talk. It's no big deal. So let's talk about you living in Florida now.
Yes, so I moved back after 1 decade.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Doll face back again.
It's crazy that it's been 10 years that you lived out.
Isn't that weird?
It's hard to believe.
I know it's what old people say, but it's like, man,
you're growing like a weed.
It did go by
that
fast.
Went by quick, man.
Yeah. It went by super quick.
10 years. That was 1 decade ago that I left.
I remember, we were doing some Tiffany's Leaving show at the Abbey.
Yes.
And then you and I
you were the host. Yeah, you did horrible.
We didn't need to be there.
Yeah, you did really bad that time.
We did really bad.
I have no recollection
of that.
Why do I not remember that? Oh my God, I have dementia.
I think you guys were drunk. I don't know.
Yeah, we were.
Definitely drunk.
We were drunk.
The Tiffany Leaving show at the Abbey. We were hosting it.
Yeah.
What did we do? What did we do?
We got up there like, hey.
You announced me or whatever.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. If you want to donate, there's a thing, and they were taking some donations to get them on the road.
Yeah,
and they're heading out to California.
Oh, wait, hold on, I kind of remember.
And we introduced them. We went up there and we did like a little light crowd work that was horrifying.
To be honest, I don't know if you were there. I feel like it might have just been Dave.
No, he was there. You know why I know he was there?
How dare you?
You know why I know he was there is because he was wearing his oversized dress shirt. Whenever he has any type of hosting gig, he'll wear jeans and an oversized dress shirt, and no matter what, it makes him look like he's going to the movies at the mall or something. Like you look like you're going to court.
Yeah,
like acid wash jeans and a monochrome gray sleeves are too long dress shirt.
I put on the classic Chandler Bing with a braided belt.
Yeah. What's weird
boat
is
shoes.
Yeah, he has it's like a big billowy gray dress shirt underneath gold chain. I'm like, oh my God. God.
You don't have the gold chain on anymore.
Nah,
You did for years back then.
It broke because he was at a strip club one night and that stripper pulled it off his neck.
I know. Now it's 2 golden bracelets that I made for my boys. Then I took a little bit and made
Yeah, they wear them all the time.
I wanted to talk crap, but that's pretty cute.
They don't wear it, and they'll never wear it. Who's going to wear a gold?
I like that he made his sons 2 greasy Italian gold bracelets. Like they're ever going to be, hey, you remember when Dad got us our bracelets? Hey, Stugat, yeah.
Well, no, because I took a chunk of it and then made a ring for Crystal, and then there was not enough to make up back.
Excuse me, so Redneck Man, what do you want to make out of the rest of your bracelet? You've already made a ring for your wife, Redneck Man. What do you want to make? Let's make my son's 2 ankle bracelets and call it a day.
They don't wear it. They're safe.
Then why'd you
to my guns?
If they don't wear their ankle bracelets, then why did you make both of your sons 2 gold herringbone?
I was at Goldsmith, and the guy's like, "What do you want to do with the rest of your necklace?" And then
let's make my wife a belly charm. Make her a belly charm. What the hell's wrong?
I was like, "Let's make 2 bracelets. It's not enough for a whole necklace."
Nobody gets their son. Nobody in the last 10 years has bought their young sons, bracelets. No one's done that.
I gotta agree with you.
It's not a thing.
I didn't buy it. It was my old necklace.
I know, but nobody does that.
Why is this so funny? Oh
because it's a weird thing
because a lot of people melt it down and make it something else. I don't know.
You just cut it and they'll put a clasp on it. They'll love these bracelets.
Well, you're gonna pay to make it into something else. Make the
tie it together.
You just
I'm gonna make my son's 2 mafia pinky rings.
You put the clasps. It's cheaper. You just put the clasps on 2 of the sections. A bracelet.
I'm impressed you could say clasps.
Why are you making fun of me? You just got back.
That was meaner than anything I said. That's funny. Okay.
Let's talk about boats. Because
immediately into boats.
Because I saw in California.
The chat room's really happy you're back in.
I love them.
And I saw that I knew that you were missing Florida because you're like, I'm going to get myself a bow rider, 18-foot ski boat.
19 and a half.
19 and a half. And,
hell yeah.
And then it's funny because I see the pictures of your boating day. You
guys go hard, man. Sun up to sun down.
Yeah,
with your
we
son. But what's weird to me is that I'm like, it looks like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It looks beautiful.
Canyon boating is so much weirder to me.
Tommy Lee Canyon boats.
We go on the river.
You know we're like related to Tommy Lee?
You're related to Tommy Lee?
Through marriage, yeah, technically.
Can you text him, please, and ask him why he put his penis on Instagram? And my daughter's, I have it on my phone because I'm scrolling Instagram. The first thing I see, I'm eating a Bay's English muffin, and my daughter says Tommy Lee shaved ween.
He's my sister-in-law's uncle. Through marriage, but
That's
still,
crazy.
we've hung out with him 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did you watch that Tom and the Tommy and Pam documentary thing, the Netflix special or whatever?
I've only seen the video.
He just types in Tommy and Pamela documentary nude.
Yeah, well, they mention her, my sister-in-law, in the video, like on the first, the first 5 minutes of the movie. It was pretty cool. To, see people that I know and
That's
stuff.
neat.
Yeah.
So when you hung out with them, is it like just a regular old rock star guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool guy.
He was cool.
Yeah,
he was.
He seems cool.
He was smoking and drinking and doing shots and smoking weed, and this was I want to say 7 years ago, but it was weird because he didn't go to his own niece's wedding, and he only has 2 nieces, so it's kind of weird. He's not very family oriented, and she's kind of it's weird that my uncle never wants to hang out with us. He's more about his girlfriend and her family and all that.
Well, he's a rock star.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Okay, but he doesn't want to hang out with his one sister that lives in,
He wants to put pictures of his dog.
Okay, you're right. I guess.
True. It's
I like it. I don't want
never turn into a family man ever.
I like that. Yeah.
I don't think you
stay
do.
in your lane, Tommy Lee.
Okay, well,
it would be weird if if he's he's out front of her house posting a picture of his dog on the internet, and then he walks in, he's like, I'm here! It's like, Tommy's here.
I mean, I guess you just stick with what you do.
I heard Baby Groot is out on Disney Plus. Like, I don't want that. I want Tommy Lee to be dong and
20
party.
banging. Okay.
Like, I like stereotypes.
My bad. I expect people to change. I don't know. All my friends have like grown up.
I
and
know.
Had kids now, so it's
Dare I say that Tiffany is now certainly more family oriented than you.
Oh, you think so?
Well, I mean, she's the one.
No, she still goes out and parties with her friends.
No, she goes out occasionally and has a girl night.
Yeah,
but it's not like she's like,
that.
To watch my kids, I gotta rage.
Every night, I'm just playing with my sons, and then last night we're playing. We go from Battleship, then we play chess, then we play.
This sounds
wresling.
Like garbage. Battleship. And chess? Oh my God!
I mean, at least they're not addicted to the phones.
They are.
But if you're playing Battleship and chess, look, if your idea as a kid is fun playing Battleship and chess with your dad, you're going to get beat up in school. You are going to get so beat up.
They're still addicted.
And they'll be probably over that by the time they're like 8.
No, they're still addicted to the phones. We have to limit it to an hour. Now the school's back. We're like 1 hour a day, and the Crow is diligent about that.
Yeah.
If it was me, like I'm just be like phone, like when they're on their phones, they just dead quiet.
You can play Battleship on the phone. You don't even have to be in the room with them.
Well, let me ask you this opinion because I have been kind of like anti-phone, like tablet and everything. And my son never plays on the phone. He doesn't have a tablet, none of that stuff. And so I've kind of been sticking with that, thinking that's the better way. But then one of my friends was like, "Oh, they make kids learn how to do tablets now." So am I holding him back by not doing the tablets?
This is my logical thought about it, really, because I've thought about this a lot, right? So in one aspect, their future is going to be tablets and computers and knowing how to navigate that. So that'll be beneficial to them. The problem is, what my sons like the most is they like YouTube, and
YouTube is garbage,
and they'll in video games, but like the video games that are open source, Roblox that have no ending. There's no
Roblox is pretty cool,
but there's no actual
it's creative.
goals.
It's digital building blocks.
It's not like what we grew up with, where like Mario got to the end and
a
saved
level.
the princess.
Yeah, there's no levels. But anyway, so what the problem for me is like food or anything else. I am like skeptical of why they like it too much. Like they're like,
it's like garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah, it's like why do you like candy? Because it tastes good, and we want our bodies crave sugar because of how we evolved, and like we crave sugar, even though sugar is bad for us in a bunch of amounts. But when we evolved in the jungles and in the nature, the sugar was few and far between.
Tablets.
Anyway,
not jungle sugar.
But I'm saying, we've got to limit our sugar intake because it's bad for us, and that's how I look at like YouTube and stuff. I look at like that sugar, and I should limit that because they want it too much, and they, it's I don't know, but
what it's going to do. But
it seems like you want it too much, so therefore I'm going to limit it. Just like you want candies all the time, I'm going to limit that. It's like I just limit the things that seem like are sugar garbage
like
to your
what
brain.
They're craving. You gotta.
But what I found,
I don't know though.
I've also found though that more freedom, at least in my case with May, is that when I give her more freedom. So if I give her more pad, she doesn't want it. So like I'll give her the iPad on Wednesdays. She can have as much as she wants on Wednesdays and as much as she wants on Sundays. This is your old rule, and we just always stuck with it. We don't do it daily anymore.
So it's 2 days a week. That's when
it's 2 days a week, but she gets Wednesdays and Sundays, right? As much as she wants. But I notice on Wednesdays she'll fire it up in the morning and watch a little bit. But if she gets to crafting or drawing or doing something else, she'll forget that she even has one and won't do it.
My son hasn't asked or like even wanted it, but I noticed my 6-month-old girl, she's trying to grab the phone already, and I'm thinking, is this a girl thing?
It
I don't
could
know.
be, yeah.
It's all subjective. It's different for every kid. So everybody's got to look at their kid and decide what's good for them. Because like same thing with Tommy seems to be like he'll get done with the screens and move on, and then Max he will be locked in and it's like you want
to lock in.
It's like calm down, bro. It looks like you're an addict.
So I'm like that. I'm like Max. You put me in front of the Xbox and you hand me and say like, hey, you have to play this baseball game, and I'll play it until I die. Until Andrea comes over and is like, hey, dinner's ready. You might want, and then I have to physically tell myself, you're good. and step away from it.
See, I heard that's what TikTok does to people.
Not to me as much, but I think you like it. You can see the addiction right there. You see it.
Yeah, because it's an endless scroll of what's next.
See, I haven't gotten on TikTok. I feel like it's like for kids.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
Cool. No, but you know, it's
probably good because you guys have a show that needs to be promoted.
Well, it's fine. It's just like I'm not. It's not, I don't think it's for me, so it doesn't suck me in.
All my TikTok is Nitro Circus and fantasy football and gambling because
mine's all drag cars
and then
just cars going fast.
A lot of girls in bikinis.
Yeah, I have that too.
And there's mom.
I wasn't going to tell you that part because I don't want you to know that about me. But yeah, a lot of moms.
I'm not even searching for it, but it's just like if you look at it too long and it's an algorithm.
Yeah, it knows. Like, he paused on this longer. Keep giving him
bikinis.
Yeah, I saw a documentary on how that works.
Anyway, so let's back to boating.
Back to boating.
So you got 3 minutes. We got to take a break.
Okay. You know. So did you bring your boat?
I did.
All right. Okay. So
boat race.
So I wanted. We went out on the boat one time or twice now, and we didn't really know like where to take it. So we were like not in the channels or whatever. I was like driving it willy nilly.
Wait a minute, that's
stuck in the sand.
That's what we do when we go on your boat.
Stuck in the sand.
Yeah, we got like stuck in the sand probably like 40 times.
We were crossing,
confused. Where's a channel?
We took a boat out and we were crossing certain areas, and this is like the last time I think when I went on your new boat. This is like 2 years ago, the new boat. And he's like, I don't really know where we're supposed to cross here, but we're going fast enough that if we do run aground, we'll just rock it over the sand. And I'm like, that's fine.
Is that like really bad for your boat?
I mean, you know, it's some sand. It's
like Diet Mountain Dew. Is it really bad for you to have to drink 9 gallons of it a day?
Yeah. You'd have to run aground every day, every time you went out.
Well, I don't feel so bad because it was only 40 times a week.
40 times a week.
Yeah. And it's a sand. Is a coral will get you.
It wasn't coral yet, but I need to know where to go. I need some boat places.
I will show you
all that coral out of there. Get that stuff out of there.
Dredge it out.
Yeah, it's bad for the boat. You knock that stuff out of there.
Get rid of the manatee.
Yeah, all these animals, they slow us down. The animals get on the land where animals belong.
Oh my God, there's more no-wake zones than ever.
Yeah, I was feeling that.
Like I'm becoming the old man that I'm like, I remember when there wasn't a no-wake zone here. Like I'm bitching to people about like this used to be,
drive fast zone.
25 miles an hour. Anyway, so we do have a plan of boating days. You ever been to Bird Island in Cocoa Beach?
I have not.
Oh, yeah, there's
or maybe I have and I don't know because I went somewhere on 4th of July and we parked and it was really fun. And there was a bunch of people, definitely a lot of Trump supporters out there.
No, that's a boat thing.
Was it Bird Island?
That's a boat thing.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll find a lot of that. Yeah, it's harmless. It's fun.
We'll give you we've got a blue BDM flag that from far
very
away
similar,
you can't tell there's a Trump flag.
Tell.
So people are like, I like that.
It's got the line.
But sometimes they see the B and they're like, and I'm like, BDM.
I'll do a BDM one. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
I don't know.
Not a good idea.
No, it would be fine. I think I'm a little worried about you taking Tiff out.
What do you mean?
God, the last time we went out, remember that?
Yeah, every time this guy does anything with you, it's usually something falls apart.
I forgot.
We've only hung out like outside of radio maybe like 5 or 6 times, like in like the full day like that.
Yeah.
And that's got to be my favorite memory. That swinger boat.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that other boat time. I think we broke down underneath the bridge.
Wasn't that the same time?
But no, you're talking about the
different time.
You're talking about the time we went on the swinger boat, and then the guy and the guy and his wife and the other husband and the other wife got in the jacuzzi.
It was a 80-foot or a 40-foot long.
Huge.
Like, did you guys know what we were getting into?
No.
I never know what we're getting into.
I went
every day I come to work.
They said, "Come inside. We have a bedroom that has an Xbox and a TV mounted in it." I went in there and I'm like, "Wow, this is living." I was like, "This is great." They had marble countertops and real tile. And I was looking at them, and they're like, "Look at this!" They're taking me on a tour. I come back on the top deck, the jacuzzi there, and then the 2 girls and their moms. They're like older moms, and they're like they're doing they're eating each other's boobs.
We say older moms, they're our age now.
Yeah,
we were in our 20s.
Well, imagine Tiffany and Crystal, Tiffany, Crystal, and Andrea all in, and they're all touching each other, having an orgy.
Yeah, well,
it's too much.
And you guys invite some like 18, 20-year-olds.
Hold on a second. This sounds like something I would want to do.
Well, I think that was the only way I got an invite because I'm like, hey, I think I get Tiffany to come.
Oh my God, I was probably 22.
Did you know you were being used as bait?
No, I didn't. I was like,
you were being used in this pervert's
I'm joking.
swing.
I'm so oblivious to everything.
You say that, but I think you know exactly what you're doing.
All the radio listeners wanted to party with Drunky the Bear. That's what I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd give it to him. I'd be like,
I'll give him the straight drunk. I'll give him 100%.
Yeah. And I'm sure bringing Tiffany and the wives, like,
you'll bring our wives.
Well, it was a swinger boat. It was a swinger boat.
My wife just found out she had a vagina last year.
Yeah, but it was that
we're all a Lily until she was 30.
We're all like, in our late 20s, early 30s, and. I remember.
I was in my early 20s.
He always gets a dry mouth when he's lying.
I was like 22, I think. Imagine hanging out with a 22-year-old like right now. That would be like us hanging out with a 22-year-old, and we're all hooking up and wanting them to hook up, and they don't even know. They're just here for the slide. I mean, that's how I felt.
I'm just here for the slide.
That's what I was there for.
You remember Seth, right?
Yes.
Okay, he comes on our show, but basically every other week on our Friday show.
Yeah, he's in rotation for news for sure.
Dude, he's got a 22-year-old girlfriend and hangs out with the only 22-year-old.
He puts her in lingerie, ties her up, and puts her in the closet.
Did he get married?
No.
Don't talk about it.
Okay, my bad.
There's a new one. Okay,
that's good. 22 though.
22.
And how old is he? He's our age.
He's 41.
No, he's 42.
42?
Yeah.
He does have a big boat though, right?
Oh, he's got more than a big boat. He's a Tommy Lee scenario.
Yeah. He's rich, and but
he throws his money around, a lot of investments.
But I say the same thing. Because I often now I've come around.
You need to throw your money around.
I've come around back to who cares? Like because I used to say the thing like, all right, I'm 40 years old. Like you said, imagine hanging out with a 22-year-old. Like we've have different experiences. It's kind of weird. It seems like too young. But then I've got my
it doesn't have to be weird.
It's like, what do I mean, it's not like talking to my wife right now is a great pleasure of my life.
You're right. You guys just sit and scroll, right?
Who cares if we have anything in common? It's 22.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I'll learn
something. Yes.
I'll learn about TikTok. I'll be interested in it. My wife, what she tells me is not interesting to me at all. So it's like, so who cares?
Onto something.
Yeah. My wife's like, I ordered my desk in Tampa. I'm on my way to IKEA now. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. So it's like, what do you have that, or you're listening, or you're finding out some new TikTok trend?
Yeah. Oh my God, Pete Davidson and Kim, they broke up, and I'd be like, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Anyway, so you're living on the coast now, Tiffany, and
at the beach every day. A lot?
Like once a week, maybe twice.
Nice.
Not even one stop sign away. It's like 5 houses.
That's so great.
So
that's awesome.
Not to talk ass about California beaches, but I will say I'll put Florida beaches against California beaches all day. And the reason why, and I understand,
we have more pythons, we have more parrots.
Well, we
have more jean shorts.
The only cool thing about some California beaches are like the dunes, and they have cliffs and stuff. Like that's pretty cool. But other than that, the water's too cold to swim in. All the time.
You need a wetsuit.
And then there's like algae. There's different. The beach is not as nice. So it's like
you can't even drink on the beach there.
Yeah. You can't even smoke
why
cigarettes.
Would you even go?
Like you can't even smoke cigarettes.
Now
or
that
drink.
I agree with. Every beach you should be allowed to drink on.
That's why you go to the beach. You go to the beach to get in the water and drink. I don't know. Party at the beach. Like, isn't that what you're supposed to do? I mean, I play with my kids too, but I'm always drinking.
Yeah, you're supposed to look at you're at the edge of the earth, and your reward for standing at an earth edge is a beverage.
And relaxing, on your day off on a weekend, and you can't even drink. It's weird to me. And no, you cannot even compare the beaches.
I go a lot further than most people because I like driving on the beach, all the oil. I like people laying out and people getting run over. I'm laying out and some truck just drives over me. I support all of that.
Yeah, they don't even let you throw a football on the beach. One time I brought my dog to the beach.
in
you cannot throw a football on the beach. You cannot throw anything on the beach. The lifeguard will stop you. I'm going to go a step further. You cannot have a flotation device in the water.
What?
I went out there with a
no
tube.
Floats?
The lifeguard stopped me and said, you cannot have a flotation device in the water. I had my dog there. They said, put the dog, you have to drive the dog home.
You have to kill your dog on the beach.
Or go to the dog beach. There's a specific dog beach. So I literally couldn't drink.
Were you standing with your gun and your husband with his gun?
This is insane. This is insane. I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why I moved back was I could not go from a state with so many freedoms,
so many rules,
to absolutely so many rules that it like builds an anxiety in you and you don't even want to do anything. So I would just sit at home because everything was too much of a pain in the ass to do, and it made me depressed. So that's why I came back. Like, that's a huge reason. So when you compare the beaches, that's like a really like sticking point for me.
I've heard like Corolla always yell about not being able to smoke cigarettes on the beach, and I thought that was ridiculous. But I didn't know you couldn't throw a football.
I've never heard that.
A frisbee?
You can't throw anything. No, you can't.
You cannot throw a Roby.
I've never even seen frisbee.
It is America's frisbee, the Aerobi, and it goes so much further than a standard frisbee.
I've never seen it,
and it's harmless. It's got. Believe me, I think I'm correct on this. I think it has a rubber edge for safety. The Aerobi.
I grew up being able to do anything at the beach.
You used to be able to, but they outlawed it all.
I'll dig a 10-foot hole and kill myself by accident. That's Florida.
I have done so many bad things at the beach.
You can set off fireworks at the beach. You know,
I used to dig a hole, bury a keg, and stand with my head on the sand and do a kickstand that way.
Yeah.
I was in college, high school.
Yes.
Do you know, like, my buddy lives in Satellite Beach now, and you're allowed to have bonfires on the beach. Now, they specify you have to get, like, a permit.
Yeah.
So it's a little, I'm sure there's some Florida guy screaming about how you have to get a permit nowadays. But,
but if you wanted to go down there with your family and have a bonfire and eat, like, Christmas Eve dinner or something, would be really fun. You can totally do it.
We're going to do it when it gets cooler, but they dig out, we've seen people do it, they dig out pits so that the wind doesn't put your fire out, and then they'll put the fire lower.
And you bring your chairs.
And then you can still do bonfires on the beach. You can do whatever you want.
There is a place, I want to say, like Manhattan Beach, or, oh God, there is a beach that was like an hour and a half from my house, and they had the fire pits that you could actually use, but they were also packed, so you had to get there at like 4:00 in the afternoon, claim your pit if you're going to have like a party at night.
Gotcha. But no frisbees.
So packed. No frisbees though, but you can have a fire at one beach.
Why no flotation device? Because it seems like that would be safer.
I know. You would think.
You would think the rule would be you can't get in without a life jacket if they wanted safety. That seems like they're just taking away fun.
I know. You can't go in with your raft, maybe because like it would go over somebody's head and then they can't see like somebody drowning. I don't know why.
I know that now. I know that in Miami they don't let you at certain festivals bring rafts on the beach because people leave them in trash. So it could be a trash thing.
It might be a trash thing.
Because I know that, because I've seen that. But that's always like 100,000 people one day, and they're like, of course it's trash.
They'll do
like a regatta or something.
Float Villa, South Beach, 2001, and then 10,000 people will leave their Chinese garbage trash.
Yeah, they do that in Laughlin, Nevada. It's kind of by Vegas, and they float down the Colorado River. It's really cool. My band used to play it every year, but there would be thousands of rafts, and so they outlawed that. Now they don't even do it because everybody left too much trash.
I bet it's that. I bet it's because the rafts get left there because it's so cheap to make the rafts that California's just like, nah, dog, we got too much garbage as it is. But I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying that's probably what they did.
It is probably that, but here's why I'm mad at that, because this isn't Float Villa 2009. This is Tiffany with her kids, and she wants to just have a inner tube.
Gotta have a permit.
And it's like,
this is before I had kids. I would never even bring my kids to the beach out there. Just, it's pointless because they're not going to get in the water. Right? Yeah. I mean, what is he going to do? Dig in the sand? I'll get him a sandbox. Like, what's
because,
the point?
Again, the water is freezing.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
a lot of people don't realize, like, California water is freezing.
If you go in the water, you have the head to toe wetsuit. That's like what the surfers are wearing.
And so right now, man, we got warm. Like,
oh, it's hot,
dude.
though.
If you go on the Golf side, like I was,
you can boil an egg in it.
I was in Naples, and
it's not even refreshing.
I got down in it, and I was I was like, oh, we're gonna die. Because I was like, the ocean water should not be this warm.
It's like boiling.
It's like
I've never been on that.
It was colder. I was running into it because it was too cold on the beach.
It's the only place you
It's
go.
like a giant hot tub.
Only place you go to cool down, you throw sand on yourself. Oh God!
But even on the East Coast and stuff, the water you can swim in it. It's nice. I mean, what is it? at what's the water temp? Look up water temp.
Probably at least 80.
Yeah, it's like 81. Yeah. It's like resort pools are 82. So it's like
no, it's definitely warm. Right by my house. It's I mean, I'm right by that Sherry Down area in Cape Canaveral. That's like my closest like public beach, and it's got to be 81.
June 85, July 87, August 87, September 86. It starts to go back down.
Okay, well, it's 87.
I mean, that's like,
colder than I keep that's warmer than I keep my pool when I heat it. Like 87, I'm like, ugh, it's too hot.
87 right now.
No, I like it. I like it. That
Just get in. You're like,
you don't want to get out.
I don't like it a little too warm. When it's a little too warm, it feels swampy to me.
No,
I don't like the swampiness of it.
Same thing with pools and stuff. You don't want to get in a super warm pool.
Well, I do it first. I like it, and then I pee, and then I get out.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, right? You get in the warm pool, you pee, and then you get out.
My son still thinks he has to get out of the pool for that. So it's pretty cool.
That's a good boy.
He's like, Mom, I have to go. And then I'm like, oh, we can go right here outside.
That's great. Maisie will look at me, and then she'll go, I'm peeing. Like she says it like a psycho, like would be over you killing you. She's like, I'm killing you.
My sons are straight trash.
Yeah.
They'll be like,
my
I have
son
to pee.
doesn't know yet.
They'll be dancing. I'll be like, go in the yard, and they'll be jumping the pool. I'm like, get out, no! And they're like, I'm going, and I can't stop them. And then I'm like, oh, you're disgusting. And I'm like, and then I do it.
Mostly water.
Yeah, it's fine.
But theirs, they pee like yellow. And
they're dehydrated.
They don't drink that much water. And they hold it like camels. And they ask me, they're like, Dad, why is your pee white? I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be. I've been drinking.
Our pee is brown.
Let's talk about your sister's bar. The Slide In Coco.
Yes, Coco. Well, it's technically Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, okay.
Don't make that mistake.
Yeah, Coco Beach is a big difference.
I know. Everyone's
talking about that.
Like, we're not on the
Canaveral.
Yeah, Slide In Cape Canaveral. That's my sister's bar.
I saw that you were, because I saw that you were doing like a welcome home party and you put it on social.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, it's funny how, because we never got out of the whole thing, right? So, like
we went from this to that,
So,
what are you talking about? Corona? Or you're talking about radio?
Well, the radio and this time
broadcasting.
Broadcasting.
Yeah,
right?
we're one trick ponies.
So I was gonna ask you because I saw you post like I'm doing a welcome home party at Slide In, my sister's bar. It's actually on our hookups page if you want to know any information about it.
It's a great little bar, man. Really fun little bar.
I was gonna ask you like, hey, we could promote it, but then I didn't want you to feel. This is how much I overthink. I didn't want you to feel like because you were gonna be like
you owed us anything.
Oh no! I didn't want you to be like no, thank you, because you didn't want a bunch of strangers coming that you had to talk to.
No, that was the opposite. That would have been cool if you guys would have promoted it.
Why would you want her sister's bar's event to be successful?
No, because
you're an idiot.
No, because then sometimes you.
I see what he's saying.
I see where you're coming from.
You stir up the creatures, and then
the creatures,
and then next thing you know, we've whipped
Super Mario.
5 of the most annoying regulars you've ever seen. Now, Super Mario shows up and he's like,
"Yeah, Papa, this is my new bar. I beer every day.
And we're like, oh my God, what have we done?
So like, if I
it's like you can't seal up where the Demogorgons come from. You try to seal the tree up.
Like, is this her friends?
And the Gorgons are just coming like crazy.
It's snowing us. You got me. And then next thing you know, a bunch of people are like, and then you're like, why does that guy have a camera?
A corpse of Barb in the
I should have just asked you guys to promote it, because honestly, we are that good of friends, and it wouldn't have been like I'm using you or you're, you know what I'm saying? So
we love your sister too. She's awesome, and her bar it's a rad bar. And I love it.
We're gonna do an event there. We're all we're gonna come up with something and do something out there at Tiffany's sister's bar because the last time we were out there was
I think my baby shower.
And and the Miller Lights were going for Danny.
That was a super fun baby shower though. That's the way to do a baby shower.
Oh, at a bar? Yes. That is absolutely the way to do it. That was so fun. And everybody had a good time. Guys, everybody.
I was playing old man darts with Jimmy. And that was the last time I played darts. Literally the last time.
With Jimmy?
Yeah. At Tiffany's baby shower.
I can't think of anything I'd rather do.
So, anyway, we're glad that you're back.
So glad to be back. So glad to be back. You have no idea.
And
what are you doing now?
So I'm not doing anything. I'm a mom, but I need to find something to do soon because I'm running through that bank account real quick.
All right.
So
let's throw it out there. Anybody, because I know they're hiring out there. That's what I see.
Well, I mean, we don't want.
I've gotten offers for like 7-Eleven clerk.
No offense to anybody that does that.
No, definitely not. But I
mean,
I
now
just
they know if you're if you work at 7-Eleven, you know.
Yeah. What about what
you
about?
You're like, yep, this is.
What about Porky's Barbecue? What about?
No, you don't need that.
Tiffany rides again, pogo stick.
No,
Why do you bring it up?
You know what? I'll
I almost cursed. We're on corporate time.
It was either going to be him or me.
We are in because as I get more and more into this, I feel my sleeves about to blow off.
Yeah, I just jumped in the chase with this guy now.
But we are doing our BDM beach party.
Yes,
and we used to hire camel girls.
Our original camel girl, the original and authentic from my core, the original camel girl for the hit video series. Trombone.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that was actually on TV.
Yeah.
The
other one never made it. The other one never made it. The other one was a hacky second version.
And by the way, sign up to be a BDM if you want to invite. We're sending them out soon for all BDMs for our beach party. But this is the reason we started doing this because of Tiffany. And I joked around. I'm like, we're going to get Tiffany on the show. I'm going to ask her how much money would it take for you to take pictures in the camel.
She's in the job market now, too.
But this is what okay, tell me if I'm right, because I started doing the math and I was like, honestly, because
5 G's?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Tiffany would be like, I do her $5,000 because it's not worth. Like also, Tiffany has made a lot of money in your edibles business, and like she's
a good businesswoman.
It's not some.
Are you just kicking this around?
I'm joking. Okay. No, it'd be too much money.
I don't even know. I have like 2 kids now. I think it'd be weird, man.
It would be weird.
May I suggest you hold your kids?
No. We never do it. No, but I'm saying if it was just a hypothetical amount of money, I thought $5,000 would be.
What about no kids? If you didn't have kids,
cash, like $5,000 cash would be like, all right, I put on the mask. I gotta go do it.
Man, for $5,000. I try to get Andrea to do it. I get anybody to do it. $5,000, give me some of that money.
If I didn't have kids, I put on the mask.
Yeah.
Had them 37. I still had if I didn't have kids, because then I'd still be skinny like I was.
Oh, come on,
no, but skinny.
I wasn't gonna say how hard. Like I was gonna say how you look now is so different.
Yeah.
Well,
you look exactly the same.
I need 10 pounds to fit in my jeans still, but
what?
Honestly, Tiffany, you look exactly the same.
Well, thank you, but
you look amazing.
So if I didn't have kids, and I'd still be skinny. I was gonna say 3, but if you want to go 5,
he always goes high. He always goes high.
Moving closer. Tiffany.
But I have kids and it's weird now.
Yeah, it is weird now.
If someone wants to reach out.
It's even weird when we ask and then we try to play it off like it's a joke.
If someone is hiring, listen, Tiffany knows the marijuana business. Great. She's great.
I know a lot about marijuana. If anybody has a job with creating cannabis, edibles, or tinctures, bombs, like anything like that. Yeah. That's what I was doing in LA for 5 years. I'm actually not using my looks or personality. I'm using my brain to make a living, so it's really cool. And I would prefer doing that, but if we got to hire me for other things, that's fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the people that use both are rich.
Yeah,
they so I'll use my brain, my personality, and my looks.
That's how they get rich. Yeah. That's how people get rich.
They use it all. You got to use it all.
And how can they email you? Just throw it out there.
Well, my email is hi@thehelloplace. So hi@thehelloplace.
The Hello Place.
Yeah, that's my brand in LA. I still run it from here, but when you're far away, it's not as easy to run it like you would, and I want to be in Florida, so I need a job here.
Can people purchase those edibles, though, if they want to? Does that help you at all?
Yeah, they can in California.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, if they're there, every little bit helps. Especially.
No, I know you have some people out there, and actually they would go in the store.
I've had those edibles before, and they're fantastic. Yeah, so if you're in need, I mean, those are the ones you should get.
Well, Tiffany, we'll talk to you again soon.
Yep. Thanks for coming in. We love you, and we're glad you're home. So fun. And I can't wait to meet the daughter, the baby. I've met the little boy. I've met Crixus. He is Maisie loves him because he's just so.
When was the last time we had dinner? How long ago was that?
He was only 6 months old. Yeah. He was 8 months old, so that was pretty much 2 years ago.
That was a long time ago because he's like.
He'll be 3 next month.
Insane.
Yeah.
That is insane.
God.
But I'll bring them to the beach party so you can meet them.
All right.
All right.
So we'll see you Monday.
Yes, sir.